What is up, my fellow pump and dumpers? This is Due Diligence here, and today we're going to talk about a stock called VIH, okay? Which is VPC Impact Acquisition. Basically, it's another stock pump, a SPAC, pump and dump, SPAC, SPAC. That is basically a kind of like a reverse merger, but not really a reverse merger. Basically, you form a blank check company on a NASDAQ, and eventually you merge with someone. That's one of the easier way to sort of do a merger and induce sort of like a pump and dump and let already funded blank check companies to raise money for the acquired company or merged company in this case. It functions like a reverse merger, but it's not really categorized as a reverse merger because technically it functions like a secondary IPO, but technically the blank state company already IPO'd. So anyways, without getting into the logistics of the accounting and the finances, I know all of you guys just interested in those pump and dump schemes, right? Consider, majority of the viewership, you're still transitioning from investing penny stock to sort of, more fundamentally centered investment method. And we're slowly converting people from our Discord and Patreon into more legit investors. But without further ado, let's look at some pump and dumps because we all love pump and dumps, right? So BBIG, we predicted the 100% increase a day before. For SPRT, we predicted it 2 days before. Well, technically a day before and 1.5 days before, but we were just talking about it. I mean, we're literally just catching up on the last wave of the pump and dump, right? So this caught my eyes because on the Patreon Discord, people were talking about it. They're like, yo, DD, you asked us to find some pump and dump stocks. What about this one? I was like, this one looks interesting. Because guess what? It's about to close its merger with Burke. So let's do some little bit of due diligence on this thing, okay? So basically, this company they're merging with is called Backed, get racked. So what does Backed really do, right? So basically, it's an LLC that hosts Bitcoins. Okay, what do you mean by host Bitcoins? So in every financial transaction, not construction, there's this thing called custodianship. Basically, custodianship. Basically, you can just like Bitcoin out of nowhere, right? If you don't have a wallet, or if you don't have a secure location to stuff your wallet, or in the regular stock exchanges, like your Vanguard is your custodian, like the ones who's holding your physical shares, like they hold your share through them. They're your custodians. So these guys are Bitcoin custodians. Okay, they basically do cold storage for big Bitcoin players who holds Bitcoin. So they're like a bank. They're like a Bitcoin bank that holds the Bitcoin, physically holds the Bitcoin, or in this case, virtually holds the Bitcoin. So this play is essentially, so if you want to buy in this Monday, or technically today is already Monday, so tomorrow, and hoping for a squeeze or a SPAC increase. Usually when SPAC merge completes, it increases about 20% on a day. So let's just say tomorrow it sort of, tomorrow it closes business transaction, merges, finishes, and probably gonna run up to like $12 and resting around the 150 MA, or it could not run, right? Because we don't have any confirmation that tomorrow is the day that merger closes. So basically, 1 day before merger closes on a SPAC, you can buy it back. You sort of buy it, and you probably were looking at a 10% to 20% increase. In this case, a lot of people are asking, is this a really good point to entry? Well, it really depending on what tomorrow's runway is looking at. And I haven't checked if they have options or not. If they have option chain, we kind of sort of can understand it, and then we probably will give you a more detailed price point. But really, the good entry point is right around like 9.8, because think about it, like blank check company, it's probably not gonna go under like 9.5 bucks, right? Like fucking 9.3 bucks or whatever, because the SPAC floor is around 10 bucks. But if you invest right at 10 bucks, it's actually pretty risky, because if you look at Workhorse, WKHS, it's right around this point, right? Like if you're looking at Workhorse on like right here. It went down so much in 2020, and then Cassie actually dumped a lot of shares at a loss. Yeah, I mean, you guys are laughing at me dumping some shares at a loss. Cassie also dumped a lot of shares at like 60 or 70% loss. But it doesn't matter because she reinvested in something else, right? And I think she might come back and pick this up later on, depending on how the verdict on Lordstorm Motors, or because basically RIDE, right? They're in a SEC investigation, and if everything come back okay and they change their management, it should be fine because Workhorse actually owns 15% of Lordstorm Motors. For this, it's just basic. This is basically a risky play, okay? So we know it's sort of trying to go over the 11.29. If it go over 11.29 and it sort of stabilize at that point, I probably will just, buy in Monday. But depending on how Monday opens, the RSI is looking a little bit shaky and weakish, but it probably still have like a 1 to 2 day runway there. If you are sort of those risk takers, we're probably, investors your own risk, right? We're just giving you some information. You do it at your own cost, right? So for me, I might or might not, but it really depends on how it opens Monday morning. And it seems like the aftermarket volume is pretty good. So probably Monday is probably going to be a green day, or going to be like a pull up and go down a little bit. If you can really buy and sell options, then probably it will be a really good idea to play the sell CC for safety, and then cover your CC when it actually have another run up on day 3 or day 4. Right. But we will keep this in our watch list. Right now, our Patreon watch list have a 200% increase on the Patreon portfolio right now. So if you guys are curious about what are some of the stocks that we're talking about in Patreon, the link is down below. All right, see you guys on the upside, and hopefully it's going to be a really great day on tomorrow. Hey, thank you guys for watching to the end. And, this is just a little perk if you watch to the end. Let's see. So on Discord, I said the downside on Monday is to 10.5 and upside is to 11.84. So yeah, this is the downside. So if we just do that math over here real quick, no. So 10.5 is here, and 11.84 is right here. So yeah, pretty even downside and upside, and probably like. It's probably going to be in the green a little bit, as long as it stabilizes after this blue line, which I don't remember. What is the price line? 11.29, as I said before. So yeah, good luck.